Hi guys, welcome to Bath Fizz and Foam. Did I just start and then restart? If I did, I'm really sorry. Did I just start and restart? If it seems like unhinged like that, I'm really sorry. It's just because the Facebook thing, it said it was going to start automatically. So then I was like talking at the thing because it has a little like red square right there that says live. So I thought I was live. So I was like talking, telling you things. You weren't here, I don't think. Okay, we'll try again. If it's the third time, I'm sorry. Hi, welcome to Make With Me Monday. My name is Robyn Smith. I'm one of the co-owners of Bath Fizz and Foam. Welcome. Hello, hello, hello. Today we're gonna be making shower soothers, but we're using our shower steamers ebook, which will look like this. Hold on. What would I do without Dropbox? Our shower soothers and steamers. And I'm going to talk to you about what's the difference between a shower soother and a shower steamer, and why you might want to make one versus the other. Okay. So, we're going to get cracking. Hold on. I'm sorry. I'm having gloves issues. Normally when I make shower steamers, I double glove because I hate menthol. Like, I really hate it. So my little hands will be cold all day long from this menthol. I don't know how other people can do it. But yeah, okay, so we're going to make our shower soothers. And I'm going to start off with baking soda. I have everything already like weighed out and ready, but I wanted to show you one, like, I don't know, I probably showed you this last time I made bath bombs, but we always say to sift your ingredients, and this baking soda I have right now is extra chunky and clumpy, so this is why we tell you to sift your ingredients, because it's really hard to break that up once it's like down in your mix. It's hard to make sure you get every little thing, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Okay, let's see what the recipe, let's see what the recipe says. Huh? Okay. Look, half the time y'all know more about what I do than I do. Like, people will be like, what type of shrink wrapper is Robyn? I'm like, I don't know. And then somebody will answer. I'm like, oh yeah, that is what I use. Okay, cool. Okay, so the next ingredient is cream of tartar. This is slightly acidic, and it's really nice in bath bombs or shower steamers or bath bomb embeds, anything where you're mixing that baking soda and citric acid. Cream of tartar is just kind of nice because it can kind of get in between all the little pieces and kind of holds everything really tight together. And a lot of people will tell you that shower steamers are just 2-to-1 or even 1-to-1 baking soda to citric acid, and then you just put menthol in there, and then it just works. And then it just works. And I don't know, maybe there's something wrong with me. There probably is. Okay, I'm not gonna like eliminate that as a possibility, but I had so many steamers fail, and I hated it because shower steamers are expensive because it has menthol in it, so it's expensive. So I really hated it when they would fail, and that's why I set out to create a recipe that didn't fail. Well, I mean, you can always fail, but didn't fail as much. So for a shower soother, the difference is that you're going to have a higher percentage of essential oil and a lower amount of menthol. So the idea with this is that it's more like aromatherapy, although you can't call it that in the United States. Don't call it that. But that's what it kind of is more like, is like aromatherapy. You need the menthol in there to carry the scent of the essential oils up through the water. They're just not strong enough on their own to come up through the water. But you still get like that wonderful essential oil smell. Teresa's asking where you can find the recipe. I will post it at the end, unless somebody wants to post it right now. I'll post it at the end. I'll post links to where I got everything that I can remember that I use. You know, I'll post all that at the end. But it's on our website. So, okay, one of the differences in this recipe versus a lot of shower steamer recipes is that we're going to use witch hazel. Now, did I formulate this during COVID when rubbing alcohol, isopropyl rubbing alcohol, was hard to come by? Yes. Yes, I did. Is that the only reason that we're using witch hazel? No. No, it's not. So, I'm going to keep an eye on this. Hold on. So, it's not the only reason we're using witch hazel. The other reason that we like to use it is because it helps prevent the shower steamers from drying out as quickly, which is one of the reasons why they fail, because the rubbing alcohol dries them out really quickly. If you try this recipe and you don't like it, you don't like the way it works, you can swap out the witch hazel for rubbing alcohol if you want to. You know, you can do that. Like, there's no problem with that. I just think it tends to, I personally have less fails with it like this. Doesn't mean I never, doesn't 100% eliminate it, but I have less fails. So I've melted my menthol crystals inside of my witch hazel. You do want to be really careful if you're using the microwave like that. If you don't want to use the microwave, you can just like let your crystals sit inside of the witch hazel for like a long time. It just takes like forever. Okay, and so Paul is asking, is the difference between the shower steamers and the shower soothers the amount of menthol? Yeah, that's part of it. And then the other difference is going to be that the shower steamers are going to have a higher percentage of essential oil or fragrance oil. You can use fragrance oil if you want to. Actually, I have a friend who made some shower steamers with vanilla fragrance oil, right? And she like asked me, do you think this is going to work? And I was like, yeah, probably. You know, I don't know. Give it a shot. So she messaged me back a couple weeks later and was like, yes, I can confirm that it works. However, a really interesting thing happened because the vanilla, which turns bath bombs or bubble bars, whatever, turns them brown, right? The vanilla did not turn the shower steamer brown. The shower steamer stayed white. But when the customer used it in the shower, then it turned brown, which I thought was really interesting and really fascinating. I'm out of vanilla fragrance oil right now, and I need to buy some. So I'm out of vanilla, but I was like so tempted to test that today. So I'm going to add my menthol and my witch hazel into the powdered ingredients. It might react a little bit. It might kind of fizz and react a little bit. That's fine. Just kind of mix it in. And then I'm going to add my fragrance oil blend, or essential oil blend. Today I'm using, it's such a good combo. Okay, I'm using, what do my notes say? Orange essential oil. I don't know if it's the same as sweet orange. It's definitely not orange like 10-fold or 5-fold. It just says orange. Cedarwood and patchouli. And I'm not like a huge patchouli fan. Patchouli is kind of a polarizing fragrance, but patchouli is in a lot, it's like a base note in a lot of fragrances, and it really kind of helps other fragrances, like gives them more body, if that makes sense for a fragrance to have body. So give it a shot. Also, if you don't like patchouli and orange is also like a really good combination that you can try. Elizabeth says, hey. Beth says, hi. is that you use Tahitian vanilla fragrance oil in your steamers, and they turn speckly brown over time. Major shower steamers look moldy. Yeah, we do get, I mean, like, that's like one of those frequent, like, if you just start making bath bombs, people will say, like, I made these, and why do they look like they have mold on them? And we're like, you know, all the kids who've been around the block for a while, we're all like, did you happen to use vanilla in your fragrance oil? And they usually did. I've never seen an actual bath bomb have mold. I don't think that it can, based off the, like, components of it. I mean, I guess it's possible, but I've never seen that. Okay, so we have all that in there. Smells good, looks good. Now I'm going to add my citric acid. And just like I sifted the powdered ingredients, I'm going to sift my citric acid. Now, I have a dedicated strainer for citric acid. You don't have to do that, but I find that if I use the same strainer for my citric acid and baking soda, it will kind of like get clumps in the mesh, and then I have to clean it more often. So that's just a little pro tip from me. Okay, so I'm going to mix that in there. Now, with this shower steamer, shower soothers, because it has all that menthol and rubbing alcohol already in it, you might not need to add any more binder. Okay, I'm going to give it a test. I'm going to see how it does, but you might not need to add any more binder. You might, though. So I think that it does need some binder, and I'm going to add, like, well, my spray bottle's like kind of jacked up right now. I keep meaning to go to, oh, okay, it did fine. I'm going to add 2 sprays of distilled water. I keep meaning to go to IKEA. That's where I got these spray bottles. I keep meaning to go to IKEA and get a couple more, because they're like the best spray bottles. Like those big industrial spray bottles, they always break. Like, I used to clean houses and they still would break, so not about that. This feels pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and take a risk and add like one more or 2 sprays of binder. And here's why. When I'm doing this drop test, it's just kind of a little bit too crumbly. I want it to kind of hold together just a little bit better. That's one of the really frustrating and hard to teach things about bath bombs and shower steamers or anything like that in beds, is it's really hard to teach how something feels, you know, just visually or verbally, to try to get that across. But we try our best, okay? Okay, I think that this looks pretty good. It feels pretty good. The mix is also started to turn cold. That's another indication that your mix is ready. Sometimes you don't feel it, but sometimes you will. The mix kind of turns cold. So I think it's ready. And I'm going to use this, not this, but I'm just putting this down here. Nothing. I'm going to use this mold from Cada molds. Now, this is actually a shampoo bar mold that I got when we did our shampoo bar ebook. But I discovered that I didn't really like the pressed bars. Like, that wasn't really for me. I preferred the bars that you poured into the mold. So I haven't used this little mold, and I feel bad. So I thought it'd be cute to do like an Orange Glad I married you, or love you, or have not yet done anything regrettable with you. You know? Could also do Orange Glad you're not in that relationship anymore. Am I right? Come on. Okay. Anyway. So I'm going to just lightly fill it. Now, usually I make my shower steamers Just like little squares. Little boring squares. But we're getting close to Valentine's Day, so I want to do something cute. Okay, I know don't judge me. This is the only spoon that I know of that's in my house, or in here right now. It might have fallen in there about a week ago. I might have just been casually scooping around it every time instead of literally just taking it out. But today, my laziness came in handy, okay? So there you go. You did not know you cannot use the word aromatherapy. Yeah. You can't use that word because aromatherapy is actually like a medical thing. If you check the FDA's website, they'll have like a list of, they don't have like a complete list of things, but there is going to be a list of things, and aromatherapy is one of those things you cannot claim that your product is, because that changes it from the category of a cosmetic into the category of a drug, and you don't want that to happen. Okay, if it's the category of a drug, next thing you know, you're Walter White. Okay, you got us an elaborate lab that you're doing things in. You know, your life's gonna go crazy. Although Jesse's cute, so you know, you could like hook up with that. Anyway, no, you don't want to do that because you don't have the, I mean, you might, I'm sorry, I'm making a generalization. Most of us don't have the ability to pay for the testing and the requirements that the government has to be able to use those terms. So when you see like big companies using things like CeraVe, why does every dermatologist recommend CeraVe? Why? Why? Tell me why. It's terrible. It's like the least moisturizing lotion you could ever possibly use. It's terrible. My sister had terrible eczema when we were kids. I mean, she still has terrible eczema. Her son has terrible eczema. Her daughter has terrible eczema. My son, my youngest son, had terrible eczema. So we've been through the whole, like, this steroid cream and that steroid cream and this lotion and that lotion. And so that's part of the reason why, like, I started making products for myself anyway, was to be able to give him stuff that, like, actually worked. But anyway, okay. Do you ever use oil or cocoa butter as a binder? I use this recipe with the moon press, and my steamers would not stay together without a little bit of oil. So originally, this recipe did have oil in it, and Amanda and I debated when it came time to publish it for y'all, right? Public consumption. We debated whether or not we would keep the oil in it. It used to have like 5 or 10 grams. It wasn't a lot, but we debated because we didn't know if people would be thrown off by that, right? I might have a moon press handy, so let me check real quick. But you know, I never have one ready for a live. I always say, well, oh wait, do I? Oh my god, it's your lucky day. Okay. So we debated, and Amanda was like, does it work without it? Will it work without it? And I tested it, and it worked without it. So we just 86 that. We just took that out. You can, if you want to, you can add some oil to it. One of the reasons that we took it out is we thought that people we're going to be worried about the fact that like some people put this shower steamer on the shower floor behind them, and then that oil would, you know, go down into the tub and be so slippery and cause them to slip and, you know, fall. I don't think personally that it had enough oil to cause that to happen. Just to be real honest with you. It was like 5 grams for the entire batch. Like, really, bro? But we just took it out just out of like an abundance of caution. So you could do that if you wanted to. The other thing you could do is you could add, like, this was Brian Dickerson asked us about this, if we could add polysorbate 80 to the recipe, because it has mica in it. It doesn't have any polysorbate 80 in it though, because it's just going to go down the drain. You know, it's not like really sitting in the tub, but he was concerned about it possibly staining the side of the tub where it's like dripping down. And we were like valid-based, as the kids say. YOLO, am I right? Lols. Okay, so we tested adding like 5 to 10 grams of polysorbate 80, and that also works. So that's another, you know, you could try that too, to try to add a little bit more liquid to it. But it is smart. I mean, liquid, like oil, is not actually a binder, but it is actually really smart to use it as a means to get a dry recipe wetter. So you still need binder. Your bath bombs won't bind. I know that there are people who say like that they don't use binder, but they probably are using it somewhere. Like, they're probably using rubbing alcohol somewhere along the line. They're using water to bloom their dyes, and then they're using their baking soda like within a few hours of blooming or right away or something like that. There's usually a reason why that's working for them, but you definitely do need binder. So oils won't make up for binder, but we can for sure help if you're in a situation where you can't get it to come out right. Is there an ideal size for a shower steamer? What's the sweet spot? So these are 2.55 ounces. I like to make them around 2 ounces, or I don't know how many grams it is because I just zeroed out my scale instead of changing the weight measurement type. But like 56 grams, I think, is 2 ounces. So that's, to me, like the ideal size. One of the reasons for that is that this recipe in particular, I discovered, like, I went over to my mom's house. Y'all probably heard me tell stories about my mom before. I went over to my mom's house, and she's like, I love these shower steamers. She always does this. I love these shower steamers. And I'm like, Mom, I haven't given you shower steamers in like 3 years or something. What do you... And she's like, no, you can get like 3 or 4 uses out of them. And I was like, no, you can't do that. You can actually kind of do that. You can get multiple, I would say 2. I wouldn't say 3 or 4. She like jumps in the shower, like does a really quick scrub and then jumps out. Like, she's not like, I take like a 20-minute shower. So one of the things I want to show you is, what if it's not filled up to the top? What if the moon press is not filled up quite to the top and you're going to have an uneven bottom? I saw somebody post about this. Like, what do you do? So I'm going to press it on the table for just a second to make sure that the bottom is flat, and then I'm going to turn around and pop it out like that. So between these two, this one is smaller. Wait, can you tell? Yeah, you can kind of tell. This one is smaller, but it still came out and worked fine. So, that was quick, right? Don't worry, I'm not done. I mean, I am done with that, but I'm not 100% done. Okay. The other thing that people ask is, can you paint shower steamers? Now, haters might say, why would you do that? It's just going to go down the drain. But, you know, a hater's going to hate, okay? So, yes, you can. That's what we're going to say. We're just going to say, yes, ma'am, you sure can. Oh my God, I'm just freehanding these steamers. I'm going to be having frozen fingers all ding dang day. Okay. So these are some lemon shower steamers. Let's put them on this tray so I don't get my table. Oh, just both hands. Just both hands. I'm wilding with both hands on these raw ass steamers. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for the profanity. It's just wild right now, okay? I can't believe I did that. Okay, so I'm going to take some mica. I'm going to add some rubbing alcohol to it. You can also use oil if you want to. I'm going to add some rubbing alcohol to it. And I'm going to use a pipette, but you could also use a paintbrush, you know? Because here's the deal. More and more houses have showers and not baths. So a lot of people, or, you know, just in general, some people just don't take baths. And so I know that at your farmer's market, I know that you have some person who comes to your table and tells you that they don't take baths. And like, I know, and you know, that what they likely mean is that they don't take baths, but that they still take showers. But it sounds like, just think about what we're saying, people, please. Okay? Doesn't sound great. So the thing you do then is then you pivot and you say, oh, well, I have shower steamers right here for you. Okay? And then you have shower steamers. So some people, their entire brand is just shower products, shower steamers, what are the things we did last week? The shower bombs, okay? So if that's your product and that's what you're doing and you want to have, like, you want to express your creativity, like, paint them. If that makes you happy, then do it. Come on, babe. Just, you know, do what makes you happy, okay? The other thing I'm going to show you is how I personally package these. I know a lot of people do it a lot of different ways. Bugger, I totally printed. Oh, it's right here. Who is this together person? I do not know her. I need to just, what? Okay, so this is how I package my shower steamers. You can do it lots of different ways. I just include an organza bag, okay? I put the shower steamer into the organza bag. Bam. So my customer never has to touch it. Now, some people wrap it with foil, some people shrink wrap it, whatever. I don't want my customer to ever have to touch it because I try to make the customer experience my preferred experience. So if I don't like to have to touch shower steamers, I'm going to assume my customers don't like to touch them, okay? I could be wrong, but that's what I'm assuming. So I put it in an organza bag. Okay, check. And I have instructions for my user. You know, it says you can put this on the shower floor. You can hang this from the faucet. You can hang it, or the knob. You can hang it from the shower head if you're just like extreme. Okay, so you can play around with the placement of the shower steamer, and that can affect how strongly it smells. So after I do that, I put it in a bag of some kind, a glassine bag. I have a couple. I can't remember which one I use, so we're about to find out. Okay, that's the one. That's the one. Okay, I put it in a glassine bag. This one has like an automatic little thing. But I've also totally done ones like this that you can get from like Hobby Lobby or Michael's, and just folded it down. I had to trim it and then use tape. Like, I've done that too. And then on the back, I will put the instructions. So it's how to use it. Allow water to activate the steamer, hang from tub, faucet, or shower knob, and allow the steam to carry the menthol vapor and essential oil. Enjoy. Caution, do not use as a bath bomb. And wash hands after handling. And then my credentials, my address, and all that stuff. Okay, and then I put a sticker on the front. It says shower steamers on the front. It's got the weight. This says 2 ounces. It weighs more than that, but like, who cares? It's fine. Oh, this one weighs 2 ounces. Those will weigh more than that. I'm not gonna make new labels for them all. I'm not gonna make new labels for them all. And then that's how I do that. Miriam says, if you were selling a 4-pack, would you give them a bag for each? Yeah, if I was selling a 4-pack, I would line them into the bag. I wouldn't give them a bag for each. I'd line it into the bag. Do the top like this, and then I would have the organza bag either like rolled up inside with it, or I might have the first one started, but I would have the rest of them shrink wrapped or in foil or something like that to keep it fresh longer. But I wouldn't give them 4 bags. I mean, you could if you want to, though. It's like kind of part of the cost of it. So yeah, any other questions? So you sell it by basically, you know, it's cold season. You can't say it's gonna, you know, cure cold, but you're like, you know, it's just nice. One of the phrases I used to use is I would say that it's opening. You can say that it's opening. You don't have to say it's opening your sinuses or that it's, you know, opening your pores, anything like that. It's just a mind-opening experience. I think my eucalyptus and peppermint one used to be called open-minded. So you can call it, you know, do that. And then you just have to pivot when somebody says they don't take a bath. I know what they mean, but come on, optics, okay? It does not sound right. And then what kind of foil wrap would you use? I've never used foil wrap, but there are people in the group who have used it. So I would search in the group because I've seen before like recommendations for where to get it. So I haven't used it, but you can do that. Stacy says you're late to the live. Was polysorbate added to the steamers for the micas being used? I didn't add polysorbate this time. If you go to the top of the group to the pinned posts, I did actually make shower steamers not too long ago. These are the Soothers, but I made the steamers not too long ago. And I did use polysorbate 80 in that one. You don't have to, but you can if you want to. It's kind of like, you know, it's kind of up to you. Let me see if there's any more questions that you missed. Okay, ideal size. I saw that. Yay for the moon press. Yeah, I mean, some people like the moon press. I can't believe I'm touching these. I'm raw dogging these and I can't believe it. Okay, some people like moon press. They're pretty. I understand. The reason I switched to flat was because just packaging wise, like it was easier for me to package them, but the moon press is obviously prettier, so go for that if that's like your thing. Tell me your secret to your boy's eczema. That's what the emulsified body butter was developed for, but also like I just used to make that kid sit in a bathtub full of oatmeal. So also he sucked his thumb really bad, and once it makes it so much better. Okay. Okay, and then advertise without using those buzzwords. Like, yeah, you can say you're going to use the essential oils, and then the steam is going to bring them up through the menthol vapor will carry the essential oils up through the steam, and you'll have this amazing experience where you're getting to smell this amazing stuff, and you're going to feel good. I don't know if you can say feel good. You can say anything that's cosmetic based, which basically means you're gonna look prettier, or you're gonna feel pampered, you know, anything like that. You just can't say like that it's gonna heal you, that it's gonna cure anything, that it's gonna treat anything, that it's gonna mitigate any kind of disease. You can't say that. But anything that's cosmetic, so like it's gonna make your skin glow, it's gonna make, you know, you're gonna have this amazing afterglow when you're done. I don't know, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I do know myself. Okay. Let me see if there's any other questions. Okay. And then there's people like saying hi and stuff. Okay, well that's it for today. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I will leave links in the description to let you know where I got the mold, the essential oils that I used, the mica, anything else I can think of, the recipe, my shirt. I'll leave you links for all of that in the description. Thanks for hanging out with me today, and as always, happy making.